Good morning, everybody, from Esther Realty.
Good morning. It is time for your Thursday thought.
Today we're talking about building permits.
Building permits, and that is an interesting topic and one that's getting a lot of people sort of backwards in their transactions. Daniel, you just recently had a transaction where we didn't have just one permit issue. We had a couple different ones.
Yeah, that's right. I was representing some buyers, and it came up in the inspection process that there was no permit pulled for the water heater that was recently replaced and the roof that was recently replaced. No permits pulled, no inspection from Pikes Peak Regional Building Department. That kind of threw, like, why weren't these permits pulled? We went back to the sellers and asked them to pull the permits and have the inspections done prior to closing. The sellers essentially refused.
Oh my goodness, red flags pop up there.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
100%. We're asking ourselves, well, why aren't you getting the permits pulled? Is there a deficiency in workmanship? What's going on? Communicate all that to my buyers. They ultimately agreed to move forward with the transaction, so they're basically accepting the obligation and any liability that comes along with that scenario or situation. They're going to have the permits pulled post-closing and have the inspections done post-closing. So,
and what brings up a good point, because if the seller's not willing to do it and the buyer decides to buy the property, the buyer still has liability for those permits to be pulled. So if the buyer wants to sell that property in the future and somebody says, hey, there weren't permits, guess whose responsibility it is? So buyers need to be very, very aware whether permits had or had not been pulled. Now it brings up another interesting thing regarding the roof. You said it was a roofing scenario.
Yep.
With the building department, in order to have a contractor pull a permit for a roof, that contractor has to be specifically listed sort of in the good graces of the building department. So if you are having roof work done on your property because of hail damage or wind damage, whatever it may be, do make sure that your contractor is actually listed with the building department as one of their approved contractors. So we're running into a couple other things here, primarily with water heaters. What have you seen with that, and how does that trip people up?
well, water heaters are one of those things that a lot of homeowners decide to replace on their own, and or they have a friend or a handyman that can do the work, and so they replace a water heater without pulling the permit, maybe because they don't know, or maybe because the handyman didn't tell the homeowner that, hey, you have to have a permit pulled on this. So that comes up pretty often. It's such an easy thing to get done. So if you have had a water heater replaced, definitely go out there and get that permit pulled and get the inspection done. It's like $50 for Pikes Peak Regional to have their sign off on it, as long as everything was installed correctly and up to the safety codes.
Yeah, it's not that crazy. It's not that expensive to do so. Now, keep in mind, it's inspectors in property transactions that are flagging a lot of this stuff.
Correct.
So they're going through the property and they're actually looking it up to see if a water heater had been permitted or a remodel had been permitted or something like that. And that's how we're finding out about these things. So they're doing their job and they're doing the right thing. So for sellers, get it done early in the process. When we're listing your property, if you know there's something that needs to be permitted, take care of it, because it's going to come up again. And for buyers, during the inspection process, if you find something that needs to be permitted, then ask for it to be taken care of, but realize if the seller's not willing to, it's going to fall on your shoulders if you want to purchase that property. So just be careful, be smart, and make smart choices. So that's all I got. Anything else?
That's it.
That's it.
Everybody have a great day.
See you next week.
See ya.
Bye.